For almost all of the past 8 months, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus has been my daily carry. Why I bought it in the first place was that it was the most interesting upgrade out of the S24 series. Upgraded RAM, higher resolution display, increased battery capacity while keeping the same starting price at $1,000. I can safely say that those upgrades were worth it and I love using the S24 Plus as my main phone. But after 8 months, I'm now way more confident about the things I love about this phone, what I just like about it, what things definitely need some improvements for future versions, and the decision of if you should still buy this right now or wait for the S25 series. Before I go over all those, it would be amazing if you guys could subscribe to the channel. It seems that most of you watching my videos aren't subscribed, and I know it might not seem that important, but it actually helps me a ton in supporting this channel and its growth, so I would really appreciate it. Huge thank you to all you guys that are already subscribed. Why I love this phone so much starts with the beautiful, huge 6.7-inch display. So it's right up there in size with the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. But the price is a couple $100 lower, and it technically has a higher pixel density than both of those phones. It's an LTPO AMOLED too, so you get the smooth, variable 120Hz refresh rate, super inky blacks, and nice and vibrant colors. It can get really bright, getting up to 2600 nits of peak brightness, so no problem at all on a sunny day, and the auto brightness is super responsive. And it can get really dark with the extra dim mode, getting as low as 1 nit, so it's also great for nighttime when you're using it with no lights on at all. It's up there as one of the top displays on a phone right now, and it's awesome for multitasking, reading, and watching vertical and landscape content. But the more impressive thing is how ergonomic this phone is considering the big display. Even though the aluminum frame and the displays are flat, the corners are nicely rounded, and the super reliable in-display fingerprint reader is right at the bottom, the buttons are nicely situated on the right, and the phone's pretty lightweight at under 200 grams. It is a bit wide if you're used to more compact phones, but all in all, it's actually pretty nice for one-hand use. The S24 Plus also nails the software experience with One UI. It's so flexible and customizable, so if you want to keep it simple, you can, but if you want to really tailor the entire UX for yourself, you can do that with One UI, which I personally really love. You can apply custom themes and icons from the Galaxy Store or other third-party sources. I have this whole monochrome look going on right now. If you're interested in getting this look, make sure to check out my recent What's on My Phone video. There are loads of multitasking options and gestures that you can choose to use or not use. I'm personally a huge fan of the 3-finger swipe up for split screen multitasking. I do this all the time to watch YouTube videos while checking threads or Reddit. You can set up all kinds of automations with modes and routines to make your life a lot easier. Compared to other automation systems on other phones, Samsung's version is by far the most customizable, so it's really hard to get away from. Circle to Search isn't exclusive to Samsung phones, but I still have to highlight how useful it is, especially for translating messages and websites using a foreign language. Plus, living in Korea, Samsung Pay or Samsung Wallet is so hard to live without. You can use it for any public transit all over Korea. Korean Samsung phones still use MST tech, so you can use Samsung Pay for paying for anything in the country as long as the vendor can take debit or credit. I basically don't even bring my wallet anywhere when I'm outside here. On top of all that, you get 7 years of OS and security updates, so you can rely on this for a long time. I say that also because of how reliable the performance has been. Yes, this is the global Exynos version with the Exynos 2400 instead of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, but I've had absolutely no issues with the speed, memory management, or thermals on this phone. I multitask all the time with no slowdowns, the camera shutter speed and post-processing are quick, short-form video editing, cutting, and scrubbing on CapCut are no problem at all. Exporting time can be a little slower than Snapdragon, but it's a non-issue for me. Of course, like any other flagship phone with the latest chipset, it does get warm. But even when video recording in 4K for long periods of time, or when playing graphically demanding games for 10 minutes or longer, this phone has never stopped on me or took away from my experiences. I know there's a whole online discourse about Exynos chipsets and how they underperform or overheat, but that's simply not what I've experienced at all in the last 8 months, and I'm personally very satisfied with the performance here. Okay, those were all the parts I really loved about the S24 Plus, but now I'll talk about the things I just liked about it that could have some nice to have improvements. First is the design. I like how simple and clean it looks. I think it looks great, especially in this marble gray. The all matte glass and aluminum feels premium and nice. So yeah, overall I like the design, but it is getting a bit boring. It looks really similar to the previous S23 Plus and all the other M series or A series phones that Samsung released in the last 2 years. So while I still like how this phone looks, I do wish Samsung gets a little more ambitious about the design on the base and the Plus models in future years. Another thing I want to mention is that since the Plus model is the least sold out of the S series, you're not going to have as large of a selection when you're buying third-party phone cases. A lot of case manufacturers are just making cases for the base and the Ultra models. I found a lot of good cases for this phone, but Something you should know. The next thing I liked about the S24 Plus is the camera system. To be clear, these cameras have captured some of my favorite shots ever. It's been super reliable in all kinds of lighting environments, for portrait images, for street photography, so I lean on it for all my outings. In a direct camera comparison with the iPhone 15 Pro, I much prefer the results from the S24 Plus. This phone does such a good job in balancing accuracy while looking good. In contrast to previous Samsung phones, the post-processing here doesn't over-sharpen. It actually goes for more of a softer image, so there's less of that over-processed look that a lot of smartphones usually have. I'm also satisfied with the 4K video quality and stabilization. I do think it tries to auto-adjust a little too fast and often, especially in terms of exposure, and the stabilization is iffy for 3x zoom. But I say that I only like these cameras because I've been exposed to the Xiaomi 14 and the Leica camera system. While I prefer these cameras over the iPhones, they still feel like smartphone cameras with not too much depth of field, a little too soft on the finer details, and a lesser quality telephoto lens. It feels like a really good camera that's missing character. So like my thoughts about the design, I like the cameras here, but I hope Samsung can upgrade their hardware in future versions with a larger sensor and post-processing changes, with maybe even a collab like what Xiaomi and Oppo have been doing. Another thing I just like about the S24 Plus has been the battery life. With a big 4900 mAh battery inside, this phone gets me through my workdays no problem at all. On heavier weekend days where I'm using more navigation and taking more pictures, I sometimes do have to go on battery saver mode by sunset. And if my day is longer than that, I do need to do a quick 30-minute charge so I can be safe about getting through the rest of the day. If you care about screen on time, I used to average up to 6 hours, but now I'm getting just about 5 hours screen on time with around 16 hours of total use per day. As a heavy user, I'm satisfied with this battery life. Only the Nothing Phone 2 has performed better for me as a daily driver out of all my previous phones. But as a big phone with a big battery, I think this should be more of a battery beast. So I hope Samsung can make that happen with better optimizations next time around. So those are the things I liked about the S24 Plus, but here are things it definitely needs improvements on. First thing, it's the glass, which gets scratched up really easily. So the glass here is actually the latest Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which is supposed to be more shatter resistant. And you know what, my screen is not cracked, so I'll give them that. But even with the case and babying this phone, the glass here gets easily scratched from all kinds of situations. Now, it's not like the whole screen is covered in scratches, but I got these upper scratches on the front within my first 2 weeks of using this phone. This is the first phone where I actually considered getting a screen protector, which I never use. What also needs an upgrade are the speakers. I actually thought the speakers were pretty great when using it by itself and also comparing it with the Galaxy Z Flip 6, but when put up against an iPhone, the speakers here felt a lot tinier with not much depth or complexity. As a $1,000 flagship phone, I do think this phone deserves better speakers, and I hope Samsung can deliver with future versions. Last but not least, what also needs an upgrade is the charging speed. The S24 Plus tops out at 45 watts with a compatible adapter, which gets you a full charge in just under an hour. Not bad, but there are tons of other phones from Xiaomi, OnePlus, or Vivo at this size that gets you 90 watts to 120 watts of charging. That usually gets you a full charge in less than 30 minutes. That kind of charging is so convenient that it changes how and when you charge your phone. I want to experience that on a Samsung phone too, but for some reason, Samsung's just not doing it anytime soon. Out of all the things that I'm wishing for here, charging speed is the #1 thing I'm looking forward to. So with all that said, should you buy the Galaxy S24 Plus right now or wait for the S25 Plus? Sadly, judging from all the reports and rumors we've seen so far, it seems like we're not going to see much meaningful upgrades that will be solutions to most of the things I mentioned in this video. There will apparently be a very slight design change with very small reduction in dimensions, slightly slimmer bezels, and these new visible rings around each of the lenses, much like what we've seen on the Z Flip 6 and the Fold 6 phones. So no major design overhaul. There may be an upgraded camera sensor, but the sensor size will basically remain the same. We will see some improvements in camera results, but I'm not sure if this will be a game changer. The most promising rumor is that while the charging speed won't see any changes, the S25 Plus may have better battery life thanks to Samsung changing to stack technology for the internal battery, which should get us better efficiency. But if you do need a phone right now, I honestly still do recommend the S24 Plus, especially if you can find a nice discount. I've seen it on Amazon, Best Buy, and other sites at around $799 or sometimes even less. So with the details we know about the S25 series right now, the S24 Plus is still a great phone you can buy right now. Alright, I hope this video helped some of you guys looking for a new phone. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the S24 Plus, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.